Okay, welcome back. Part 2, Class 2. Part 2 of the movie poster demo. So, we're making this movie poster. Let's get over to our subject matter. Okay, so I see over here I got a lot of layers. Let's label some of these. So, this was our, we're going to call that a overlay, wash, because that's just kind of overlaying everything. This is our text. We got our fogs layered. We'll call this purple hair, perp hair. That looks good. What else we got? This is, that's actually a mid overlay because it's in the middle of our file, overlay. This is just going to help you. It's going to help me. And everything else is layered. So I want to show you guys this cool feature is, let's take the hair and the girl, and let's take all the, and this is the backup girl that you can't see, the copy, just in case I need it later, which if I pull it out, which if I pull it out, oh, look what's happening. Auto select is selected up here. That means if I click on something, it will click on that layer. I don't really like that. Sorry, I don't really like that. So we're going to switch that off. And now whatever layer I select on, it will grab. I don't know if I explained that very well, but auto select, if I have it checked, and if I click on something like this Photoshop word, or, well, it's clicking on this overwash because it's the biggest shape and it's in the front. So, but if you had like 3 small circles or something, you could click on any circle and it would pick it up. But since we have this huge layer, we don't need that. So let's go to our, let's show you how to use folders within your layers. Okay, so I'm going to click this layer, and this layer. And the way I did that is I held shift and I clicked on all those. So let me show you. I hold shift, click, and it'll select multiple layers. Then I'm going to go down to this little folder icon and it says create a new group. So that's going to be a group. Boom. I just clicked that. Now I can title this female model. That folder group is all in here, and if I hit this drop down arrow, it'll show me what's within it. So when I get 200, 300, 500 layers going on, like some of my really in-depth stuff does, these layers are everything, and naming them is everything. Okay, all right, and I guess we could even do the background too. Let's do that. We'll just call it background. Background. Okay, and so already we have, it's a lot cleaner. All right, I'm on this mid overlay, and I think, what happens if I kill it down a little more? All right, so I think we should mess with the girl a little bit and kind of trick her out a little bit, make her look more awesome. Let's go to the internet and let's go to, let's put some like body tattoos on her and stuff. Like something geometric, geometric pattern. Now, if I was doing this, I'd probably make my own if I was going to sell this. And I'm going to find a cool geometric pattern. What's a cool geometric pattern? Show me a... Okay. There's so many. Let's see if we can make some jazz out of, like, I like this one a lot. So it's kind of, oh, that's pretty cool too. But I want something that's kind of a hexagon pattern. Hex. So, and I don't want to overthink it too much. So that's another thing. You could spend hours going through these images. Look at that, sick. Love that. Okay, so let's see. Let's just grab one. Let's quit screwing around. Let's say we were going to use this one right here. And this does have like some ghosting over it. Look at some of the other options here. Gosh, you know what? Let's use this one. It's probably even better. I don't know how this is going to work. But it's worth a shot. So we got this folder selected. I'm going to just do a new, well, let's paste it right here. Now we have our pattern pasted down. Let's go and put it on a multiply. This part right here that says normal, we're going to put it on a multiply, and so you can really see through it. What that does is makes all the whites transparent. Okay. And the other cool thing you could do is put the opacity down to like 50%, 40%. Okay, so I'm going to screw this up. So I want to save a copy. So right click on the layer, duplicate the layer, and now I have two of this same thing. I'm going to make one invisible in case I want to use it later, totally unobstructed. Alright, so this is what's cool about Photoshop is like now we can go into edit and transform and distort. And with distort, look at, I can just pull these how I want them. Pull in these handles. And I'm going to try to kind of match the perspective of her body a lot, not a little. I want it to be believable. I also kind of want it to radiate out onto maybe her shoulders somewhat, and maybe going up her neck. We'll see. So my goal is I definitely want one that's super visible right here in the center of her chest. That would be neat to me. And so like this waistline gives me kind of a, this waistline, see how it's curved right there, or see how those wrinkles go, and then her shoulders, this line should pretty much match the angle of her shoulders. So that kind of gives you a natural guide. And I'm going to hit enter. Okay, so I'm going to lighten this up even more down to like 18%. And I'm going to start erasing. I'm just going to start erasing. We could mask this off to where we could edit it, but I'm going to just straight up erase. And it will look really cool. So I'm going to take the eraser tool. Put on my glove. Pardon me a moment. So I'm going to take the eraser and take this glove, or take this take this pattern and erase it off her hand. Now again, just for time, I'm doing this with the Cintiq, but You can do this all with the mouse. Before we had Cintiqs, I did it all with mice. And I'm going to take the lasso tool and get rid of, there's some on her shirt that's really obvious. All this, I don't want any of this on her neck. And I hit delete just now. And kids are having fun with the dogs right now. And we're just erasing this away. Okay, so I think I just want it, like that's her chin right there. I think I just want it on her chest area, and maybe I'll do a different pattern on her arms. So I'm going to do a really big one. This is an eraser. I'm going to make it really big by doing the size like that. And it's soft edged. I don't know if I want it up here or not. Okay, so that looks pretty cool. Let's mess with, let's see, color burn. Let's see if that looks any different. Screen. Again, this is the part where you can mess with what you think looks better. Overlay, soft light, hard light. Multiply. That looks, I don't know, I guess multiply looks pretty cool. So let's see if we can do, I don't know if I can put any color on this or not. Colorize. It wasn't colored in the beginning, so. Alright, I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to mess with this opacity a bit, so you can just kind of barely see it. But maybe I want one to stand out. I'm gonna just so I can see what I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna do this at full percentage, and I'm gonna take this straight polygon lasso tool, and I'm gonna take this shape right here. Click, 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 click. I'm going to take this shape right here. Control C, Control V, copy paste. Bear with me. You beginners are probably just like, oh my god, this is way too hard, but watch and you will learn, guaranteed. So she's got like kind of one of them that's kind of a lot darker. These other ones can be very subtle. Alright. So that just makes her look a little more rad. Let's mess with her eyes. Let's see what we can do on her eyes. We'll take her face. We'll take this straight lasso again, and I'm going to just kind of do this area right here. Cut her eyes out. If I press shift, I can add another lasso over here. I only have to press shift once to add a lasso in a different area. And so now I can copy paste that, and as you can see, her eyes are there. So these are her eyes. I'm going to title that eyes. And we can mess with like how much those stand out and in what way. Bloody eyes, I don't know about that. Okay, and maybe I don't want the entire eye. Okay, I'm going to take the eraser and kind of erase some of the parts I don't want. So she's got like a steel blue eye. Let's work on her makeup. So I'm going to do a new layer, and it's going to be called Makeup. Makeup. And I just want to show you, you can take this paintbrush tool, and we could do like okay, so that looks drastic, right? But you can, that one layer, we're going to use this multiply again, or we're going to use, overlay, something like that. And she's going to start to get a real sci-fi look to her. If I select just one area with that selection rectangle, I can change the hue and saturation, you can too, of just that one area. That's a very sci-fi color. So, and then if we wanted to, if you want to kill that back a little, your opacity of your eraser is up here too. Watch this. So if I wanted to do just 30% opacity, I can kind of like feather that out at the end there. Maybe this one's not so drastic. Maybe in here it's not so drastic. Right? And then, so we can do, let's see, she should have probably some sort of design on her. We could probably take this design and put it on her forehead again. Let's do a duplicate of this design. If I go to the move tool, I just duplicated it, so if I pull up, it'll come up. Let's say she had that. Let's say this is like her tribe's logo or something. Distort. Do you see that? File, transform, distort. Now I can pull these little tabs around wherever I like. Okay. And maybe the overall size, I can just hit shift and grab a handle with the move tool and hit enter. something like that. If I uncheck this show transform controls, it'll get rid of that bounding box. Okay, and so let's say I don't like that pink, I can just select just that area, that pink. If I'm on her makeup, okay, now I'm on her makeup, and we can kind of get back and mess with the saturation. Maybe we want just a little of it or something. Okay, and let's see. Sci-fi people often have like dark mascara, so we'll do like dark mascara. I'm totally generalizing it. There's no formula to sci-fi people. I'm just showing you like ways you can add to your painting or add to your movie poster. So let's get black. Let's just sample some black from her hair, and let's get like a real thin brush here. Right? I don't know if this is going to look good, but I'm going to try I'm going to knock down my opacity of my paintbrush, so see when I paint at 17%, it barely even shows. And this is a very grainy photo. I definitely should not have used this one. Really bad example. I just hit undo a bunch of times. Maybe just in there. Okay. Let's see. So she's looking pretty sci-fi. All right, and we'll do a different pattern on her arm. Maybe. Maybe we'll try something dark. I don't know. Try this one. See if that works. Copy image. We're going to go to Photoshop. We're going to put it around this layer. Show transform is off, so let's click that back on. Let's turn this down a little bit. I'm going to save a copy, duplicate this layer, right click, duplicate layer. I'm going to hit enter. Now I have this is the layer I want to mess with. This is the layer that's just a copy in case I need it in the future. Okay, so we're going to take this, and how am I going to use this? Let's knock this opacity down again. So I want to see if I can show you guys how this thing works. So there's something called Puppet Warp. Right. puppet warp right here. What this is if I click here, I'll add an anchor. There's anchors that are being added, and I can add it here and here and here and here. And then I can pull on these anchors to get perspective and get make it look like it's kind of warping around her arm, if that makes sense. And that's a really cool feature. Okay, so it's not much, but it looks cool. I'm gonna take the polygon lasso and start over. You know what? I'm gonna just take the eraser tool. Let's get the opacity down so I can see where I'm erasing. I'm just gonna erase right here. Oh, but I need it at 100% opacity, meaning that eraser is going to be pressing down at 100% strength, erasing everything in its path. Now polygon. Delete. Deleted that. Is that called polygon lasso tool? Yeah. And same with down here. I'll just take this polygon lasso tool. And let's mess with that. It's going to be on a multiplied layer so that you can really see through it. And so now she looks like she's got like this forearm sleeve, which is pretty gnarly. So I saved one of these right here. So let's do it again on her other forearm maybe. But I don't want to mess up my original, so I'm going to make a duplicate layer. Right click, duplicate layer, enter. Now I have a duplicate layer, but I don't want to mess up this one, so I'm going to make it invisible. Alright, so this is, see, it's pretty repetitive. Once you get like a little formula going, we're going to do it to her other arm. I'm going to start at about her wrist here, and we're going to puppet warp this thing again. Let's come in a little tighter. So that was under edit, and then right here at puppet warp, I put an anchor down the center of her forearm. One's off to the side, and one's off to the side. I know that that's going to kind of go like this, and it should look like it's kind of wrapping around. You can add as many as you want of these anchors. See, I just added another one. Alright, and that goes like that, and so on and so forth. Enter. Okay, so I'm going to take this polygon lasso tool again. I'm going to kind of just go with the shape of her arm here. And follow this skin line. And everything that's going to be inside of this shape that I'm making will be deleted. I'm going to hit delete. I'll make the opacity similar to her other arm. Oh yeah, it's got to be on multiply because we decided multiply. Her other arm's at 57, so this one should probably be at 57% opacity. Okay, so we're learning how to do overlays using multiply and all kinds of other tricks. Okay, So maybe one more logo on her arm. Like some sort of icon. This is a really cool icon, Metatron. The Metatron cube. We're going to go back to PS and edit and paste. Oh, I must not have copied it properly. So I'm going to Internet, right click, copy, and I'm going to Photoshop, and I'm going to hit paste. I'm going to hit multiply on that layer, and I'm going to knock it down in opacity, and I'll put this on her arm. Let's save a copy though. It's a layer copy. I right clicked and I'm hitting duplicate layer to duplicate that layer. Now I have two. One for saving and one for messing up. Okay, and we can use, I think we could use that puppet warp again for this, I guess. Why not? So it's going to kind of be like so. More in the center, and so maybe like that. Try that 57 number again. Right there. And then I will take the, let's take the eraser. Just erase right here. We'll take the polygon lasso tool and just get rid of all the extra nonsensical stuff. Delete. And maybe we want to do it in a different way. I don't know. Soft light. Maybe this tattoo's like has a different look to it. Actually, let's try color burn on those forearm sleeves. See if that looks cool. Color burn. Alright, so let's do it on her other arm too. We're going to take that copy that we saved right here, duplicate it again, right click, duplicate layer, OK. Now we have two of them. Save one for later. And we'll put this on her arm. I don't even think we need to mess with the puppet warp and all that. So we're just kind of faking it here. And that'll be multiply. Do it at, no, that'll be color burn. Do it at about this level. Enter, and I'm going to take the lasso. So we've got our girl all customized. I hate that lipstick though. I'm going to change that. Gotta do something about that. So I went to her makeup layer and try something different. We're just going to go with purple. That looks more harmonious. Okay, and then so we could, I mean, you could start putting armor on her. You can start doing all kinds of crazy stuff to her. I feel like she does need like an armband though. Let's do an armband. I'm gonna bring it, this layer. It's gonna be called armband. So let's just put an armband on her for fun. I'm taking the lasso tool right now, and I'm going to, you know, it wouldn't just be straight. It would kind of arc a little around her arm. And then I could do another one over here by pressing shift and adding another shape over here. Okay, so we'll take like this color right here by pressing Alt. When we grab the paintbrush here, we'll press Alt and sample this color. I'll make the brush a little bigger. I also need to make the opacity at 100% paint flow. Okay, so I'm going to select and I can just select like the shadows is where it gets really dark, and the light is where it would be, you know, have more light. And just I can press inverse, and now I can paint on the outside of this mark. So I can do inverse, and then even on the paintbrush I can set that to a color burn or a multiply. Let's try a multiply. And I'm just gonna do like the smallest like drop shadow. We'll use like her skin color here. Let's see if this makes sense. Oops. Just a little bit, okay? And just a little bit. I just hit deselect to take a look at it. I'm erasing right now some little pieces here. Alright, if that looks too sharp, I can kind of blur that a little bit. Okay, so she's got like armbands on. And with any layer you can select one and you can hit Alt. When you got the move tool, you can hit Alt and it'll like duplicate that layer. So if you wanted 2 armbands, you just do that number. Maybe one side she has 2 armbands, one side she does not. Maybe on this side she doesn't have one at all. Let's see, another cool feature is, alright, so let's get, we got our girl pretty well dialed. Let's close down her folder. Let's start adding some other elements. Where's this at? Okay. So let's do like, let's get, so another cool thing is, what else could I show? Okay, if you take the paintbrush tool here and you like select black or something, you can draw, right? But up here there's symmetry, this little butterfly looking thing, and you can pick which way you want it to be symmetrical. And so there's your line. And wherever I paint on one side, it'll paint on the other, okay? So you might want to mess with that. That's a pretty neat thing. And same with the circle. And same with parallel lines. Let's see what that does. Pretty weird stuff. So keep in mind you got that to your a bit to use. So now I'm gonna just do some like cool graphic shapes. I'm gonna use this lasso tool, and if I hold shift I can get a nice 45-degree angle. And we'll take the paint bucket tool, and again you can press Alt and sample the color. And now I have that cool color right there. Let's do like a overlay, hard light maybe. It's fun to mess with these and see what you're gonna get. Exclusion, difference, really cool. So we'll take overlay. I'm going to show the transform tools. Now, like I said, you can hit Alt with your move and then have your move tool, hit Alt. See that little white arrow comes up? Then you can drag out a duplicate of that layer. You can then go to Edit, Transform, and Flip Horizontal, and it'll flip it horizontally. Isn't that cool? Those just barely touch. Now, if you like the way those, let's say I wanted to, let me duplicate one of these. Okay, let's say these two layers, this one and this one, I wanted to join them permanently. I can hit shift and select them both, and then I can right click and merge layers. Now they've merged into one layer, but I got to redo the effect I like, which was it color word? Looks different. Overlay. Try overlay. So you got that at your disposal too. So now I'm going to do maybe, I'm going to do some variations with these. I'm hitting Alt and I'm just duplicating that. And it's creating this cool look. Soft light, hard light. That looks pretty hot. I like that. Okay, and then let's take this shape and bring it to the bottom and do some weird stuff with that. See this little, I'm on the move tool and I'm gonna get that little arced arrow right there. If I pull it away from this, it turns arced. That's how I can spin these. Okay, so I'm gonna spin it. Put it right here. And I'm hitting the Alt button again with my move tool on. I'm going to go to Edit once more, hit Flip Horizontal. Cool. Now we could do another overlay that adds a little more color to it. Let's call this a geometric overlay. I just selected all those by pressing on one, and then I go to the bottom one, I press shift, now it's selected all of them. I can put them in a folder. We'll call it geometric overlays. Okay, and let's do an overall wash. Let's take some pink from her eye. This may get weird for a second. Maybe some, oh, I didn't even notice I had we have our symmetry on, but if you want to turn it off, but I needed it on anyway because I'm doing something symmetrical. And I'm just picking cool colors, rad colors. That are within our painting. Let's go to, normal. For some reason it looks good to have like the edges dark in paintings. Photography. I keep calling this a painting. Our movie poster. Okay, so you're like, what in the hell is he doing? Well, let me show you. So now that I have this overall wash color, I can do an overall overlay of that as well. Not difference, we don't want that one. Let's just do an screen overlay. So I don't like that, so I'm going to erase that. I'm going to go to my paintbrush, get rid of symmetry. I'm going to take a little of this pink. Oh, I see, my brush is on multiply. I wanted a normal. That's why it was acting so weird. So what I'd like to see is like the center pink, then it goes blue. I'd like to see this like nice vibrant color that's going to be the darkest as we radiate out, maybe even white out here, and this will be dark here. Okay. Okay, so that's gonna get a overlay. And we can lighten it down to, well, there's 0. So what this is kind of doing is just bringing it all together. And maybe our geometric overlays need to be a little lighter too. Or maybe not. It's all about messing with things. Okay, now so let's take a full-on, let's take another overlay. It's getting very overlay-ish. Let's take something similar to this. No, let's take a pattern. let's take a pattern like, here, hold on 1 second. Is this? Thank you, hon. All right. Daughter's playing volleyball. All right, so let's take a pattern like, we're going to do one last overlay over everything. Maybe even something like this. Copy, right click, copy. That's not what I wanted to do. Right click, copy image. And paste. And I'm going to raise it up. And maybe we'll just use part of it. So I'm going to take the eraser tool, make it huge. And I'm going to cut down the opacity. Of the eraser tool. Now I'm going to cut down the opacity of the actual layer. And I don't know if I want to use it in the sky also, but we can take a look at it, see if we love it or hate it. Actually not too shabby. I'm going to erase it where it's over her face. So I'm going to shrink this down. Really don't want it over her face. Opacity 100%. So I don't want her face messed up. Okay, so we're getting something. I think we need a little more action in here, so let's put some like choppers and stuff in here. So maybe some jets, like a F-35 jet. Or an F-16 from South Carolina. So let's get this in here. Let's see what we can do about cutting this jet out, or at least going real quickly about cutting it out. Doesn't have to be perfect because I think I'm gonna like blur it, and I don't think it's gonna be in focus too much. And I was using the magic wand tool just now. So now I'm taking the lasso tool and just getting all this crud, just a little bit of garbage off of it. I'm going to hit select and inverse and erase everything on the outside of that line I just made. Around the turbine here, let's get this stuff out. Okay, so now we got a jet real quickly. And right here. And you know I like to make a copy of the jet, so I'm going to duplicate that. Actually, hold on, let's do that later. We're going to figure out what part I'm going to do. I'm going to have it under her, so duplicate, Now I have a copy of this jet. I'm going to save one just for good measure. And let's put a couple in place. I'm going to hit Alt and do a couple smaller ones. And hit Alt. Another even smaller one. I'm going to take these 3 jets that I just made and merge them to one layer. I'm going to hit Alt and again, now that they're all in one layer, and move them over here and hit Edit, Transform, and Flip horizontal. That way these guys are coming out this way. So I don't like them on this side, so maybe I'll do like a different vehicle coming out of that side, like a Apache or something. See, I did makeup for the ladies. Now I'm doing some military vehicles for the men. That was hard to say. Okay, Apache. Am I not spelling that right? Apache helicopter. So I like this one, but the props cut off. That's a pretty good one. That one's already got the background cut out. Let's copy that one. Copy and go to not Facebook. Dang! I can't even speak right now. Facebook. Do something like this. Dun, 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 dun. Where am I going to put it though? See, this is the hard part. Up here, maybe. So it's a big. It's kind of nice. Huge. And we could do the same thing where we make a copy by hitting Alt. Maybe this one's really big or something. And you can rotate the angle a little bit so it looks a little different. Let's do this one here and then this one a little higher. This one here. Enter, and then this one a little higher. Smaller. Look at all these decisions we have to make. This is hard work. So, what else could we add? Let's add some city in there. City. Every good story involves choppers. beautiful women, jets, and cities. Toronto. Let's try a little Toronto. Copy image. The city of Toronto is in distress, and there's one woman that can save the day. Let's actually throw it in the background folder. This kind of blew our whole rock situation, but we don't need that spiky building. Now Toronto's on the water. And I'm going to kind of erase a lot of that. Ooh, not that much. Alright. See how that works. Maybe even Toronto's behind this rock here. Toronto. That works. So something that tied together that might work is to take her skin, believe it or not, do another layer, another overlay layer, an overlay over the overlay. See how to use it. Lighten. What should we use here? Just messing with stuff. That's all we're doing. See if we like it. Just barely show this like hex pattern. Okay, this would be good because then we can put more text in here. Right now the font is Gunship. We're going to switch it to something like this. So the bottom can be the tagline. You know what we'll do? We'll make Photoshop is the title. We'll make a movie poster for the class. So Photoshop is what's this class called? Intro to Adobe. Intro to Adobe. It doesn't say Adobe. It says Adobe. Intro to Adobe. I'm going to take this type tool like this. And we'll take some text and up here be like, Shasta College brings you CIS 73. See how that is, and then maybe I do a block behind it. So I'm going to do another layer, put it behind the Shasta College text that I just wrote right there. I'm going to get this little block here and maybe do one of these numbers where you take the paint bucket and a color from your canvas and you put it in there. Maybe a darker color even. Maybe even more darker. Shasta College brings you CIS 73. Intro to Adobe. Oh my god, it's still spelled wrong. ODD OBE. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, and then the tagline would say, where's their tagline? Where is this? Oh, up here. So the tagline should say, maybe it won't say anything. Let's just do dummy text, like you'd see on the bottom of the poster. Starring Mike Morgan. Actually, it shouldn't say starring, it should say instructor. And I'm going to make it really small. And I want to show you guys that you can highlight this and then you bring up this little paragraph thing looking here, this little tab. And that will give you all these options to make you have a bunch more stuff that you can do. So I can spread out the letters a lot more, like 500 right here. See how that spread it out? That's your tracking. Okay. And it does all kinds of stuff, so you'll have to mess with that too. So let's say we did this tracking at like 1,000, starring Mike Morgan, whatever. And then I'm going to do another one. I just hit Alt and it kind of made like a new interface or a new layer there with the same content. I'm going to get rid of the tracking on that one. And this one's going to be just like some real dummy text that's real small. And it's not going to say anything in particular. It's just going to be like a bunch of jumbly words. And I can copy and paste it. So back up. I made a mistake there. I'm just gonna have a ton of fake words down there. But I want to show you, like for example, if I go back over to this character window, under character, and if you need a window, you just go to window and pull up the one you want, like character. Well, I just hit it just now, but character. And I want these like spread out more. So 36, 60 will spread them out even more. I like that. Okay, so we're going to copy about, and I'm going to add to this same text line. Boom, boom, and that's probably good. I wonder if they have a thinner version of this. something real thin, like that. And maybe it should all be caps. I don't think I can convert it to caps right here. In Illustrator you can, it's very cool. Capital letters in it. Okay, so let me show you how this lorem ipsum is very handy. Lorem ipsum copy. So this here is all dummy text that we could copy for this. Exactly what it's used for. Until Steven Spielberg tells me what to write here. I can use this. I'm just hitting return to kind of knock down the sentences, knock down the long lines. I maybe only want like this many right here. Okay, guys, don't forget to save and save often as well. It's always a good idea. So we're going to save this. We're going to take a look at it. If you press tab, it'll get rid of everything, all your tools. If you want to take a minute and just look at your action. So we've created a movie poster. We could go on and on. This could go a lot longer. This is basically what I want you guys to do. Cut pieces of things up, overlay things. I want to see that you can cut stuff out and bring in multiple images. And you're welcome to use your kids, your pets, your cars. You can use stuff off the internet. You can use whatever you want. Okay, it's your movie. You are the director. And I want you to enjoy it, have fun, and learn. And if you got questions, I want you to hit me up. So I hope that was helpful to see somebody else do the demo for you. Fantastic. Cool. You guys have a good day.